Okay, I'm Jasmine from PGRC. Okay, so I was tasked to give a briefing on the research. Okay, all right. So let me just emphasize that, right? Today, this briefing, right? I'm not here to guide you on how to do research. Okay, looking at some of you, your portfolio even greater than me. Okay, so I'm not in that position to guide you how to do research. Okay, so my role today to come in, right, is actually just to brief you, okay, on some of those like the research direction of the university, the research aim, and what are those resources that is actually provided by the university and some of those research strategy. Okay, that's my role for today. Okay, all right. So let me just share my screen. Okay. All right, so I will just cover some of those things, why research is actually very important at UOW Malaysia. Okay, the research aim and then the direction, some of those research achievements so far we have achieved. Okay, so this one when I cover is actually I also cover both campuses, UG and PG at the same time. Okay, the support and resources, okay, that will be given to both campuses. Okay, it will be the same. Okay, research strategy and conclusion. Then we will end with Q&A. All right. And I understand that today is Friday, okay, and also there is some sport events is going on. So I will try my best to finish, all right, before 4. Okay, so let's look at what is it so important, right? When a lot, especially I think most of the participants today, right, you are actually academic staff, okay? So why is it so important of research, right? I think you can see that in your KPI, right? Research in your performance at present KPI, right? One of the KPI is actually research. Now, why is it research is so important to university? Okay, so the first one, of course, whenever we talk about research, right, is because you want to have some novelty, the creation of new knowledge. Okay, so bring in new innovation. Okay, so that is the reason why, because all this new knowledge, the innovation, right, is one of the ways actually to bring out the university reputation. Okay, then another one is attract funding, because when you do research, right, you can apply for grant, okay, all this external funding. So either from government, from industry, or actually also can from those international organizations, okay, like UNESCO. Okay, so you actually provide funding, you bring in the income to the university, okay, because you can use the grant money to buy certain asset. Okay, so this is how you actually, why the research is so important to the university. And another one is that, right, you actually can bring in industry collaboration. When you work with the industry, that is the time, right, you actually can apply, okay, your research outcome or the research result, okay, to the industry. And also that is the time you build out the network with the industry, provide the opportunity for your student to actually have the real hands experience. Okay, then finally, this is the most important. Okay, why we need to do research, we all know that, right? Okay, eventually that is a way to boost out the university ranking. Okay, because when your research output, okay, your research output and innovation, that is the one that is actually contribute to the university ranking. Okay, so that is the reason why the management, right, keep pushing for the research. Okay, so yes, this is our research aim. Okay, all this information is actually can be found in our website. Okay, basically we want to push the boundary of the knowledge. It's basically encouraged to create a new knowledge, to discover new knowledge, foster innovation, and also address global challenges. I believe that this day, right, when the greatest challenges everyone is talking about, right? We don't care whether what discipline you're coming from. The greatest challenges this day, everybody is talking is sustainability. Okay, you can see that. So we actually from the PGRC side, we actually try to inspire students and also the academic staff so that they can share their knowledge and also serve in the academic field. So this is the aim for the university. All right, the research direction. Basically, the university research direction is actually based on what are the school. Okay, the expertise is actually based on the school that we actually have or the department. Okay, so that's why the research direction mostly is actually focused on the technology and engineering. Okay, And this one is normally from those SCCM and SOE, okay? So social science and humanities, this one is actually from the communication school, okay? And social science school, all right? Then the next one is business and economics. So this one is mostly come from the research is mostly come from the School of Business, okay? Then the next one, hospitality. This one is mostly come from HSTCA, okay? And then the finally one, okay, the final is about sustainability. So like I say, okay, this day, right, we don't care what's the view we actually come from, okay? Basically, everyone is talking about green, everyone is talking about sustainability, how can we sustain the resources in the future, okay, in the long run, okay? So these are the research direction that we actually, the university is actually focused on, okay? Now, the research achievement, okay, the research achievement, so far, like I say, right, when we talk about the research achievement, right, we actually talk about combined for UG at PG campus, okay? So far, right, okay, we are actually still pretty new, okay? So that's why so far, right, we only managed to secure 5.5 million of those external grant, okay, from government, mostly FRGS grant. Okay, and then from the international organization and national organization are mostly come from those industry. Okay, so the award, this one is mostly because of the innovation. Okay, the student or the academic staff, all right, they join some of those innovation competition. Okay, so they actually won some of those medal, gold medal, bronze, and even also silver medal. Okay, mostly are related to the innovation. Okay, industrial collaboration, right? Industrial collaboration. This one, mostly with the industry people. Okay, some of those well-known, Sony Malaysia, Sandbox, Asia. Okay, and then the partnership also, right? And actually, there are a number of the MOU has been signed with the research university in Malaysia. Okay, like UKM, UPM, and also some of those research center in Australia. So these are some of those achievements. Okay, the publication, right? Like I say, right, of course, because we are still very new, okay? So at this moment, okay, we only can claim that more than half of the article is actually published in Q1 and Q2, okay? So to be exact, right, it's about 65 to 65% last year, okay? 65% of the article, right, is actually published in Q1 and Q2 journal, okay? So we still have a long way to achieve, okay? But anyway, to a new university, right, we are actually doing great for that, okay? So support and resources, okay? So talking about the research activity, right? Okay, most of this activity, right? Most of these requests, most of this application, right? Will always channel to Postgraduate Research Center, PGRC, okay? So we are there to actually to provide and manage any of those resources that is related to research, okay? It's actually a second floor, okay? Same office with Teaching and Learning Center, okay? For Penang colleague, I think most of you need to deal with Miss Jia Hui, okay? That is for any of those resources that is related to research, okay? So currently for UG campus, right, we are actually at second floor, okay? And most of the time you will deal with me directly or with my the admin staff for PGRC, Miss Farah, okay? All right, now, what are those resources or what are those support that PGRC is actually given? Okay, so the first one is internal grant. Okay, internal grant, right? The opening is actually on yearly basis. Okay, when is the opening, right? Then this information always communicate through the corporate communication email. Okay, so the application, all those detail were actually the application process, the process, the timeline, all those things, right? Everything will be communicated through the email, okay? Now, what is the purpose, right? The university actually provide the internal grant, okay? We do understand that, right? A lot of us, right? We need to go through that stage whereby you still are young researcher, okay? Even myself, okay? So in order to make sure that you gain that experience on how to manage the grant, so normally you will actually have to apply for internal grant. You will need to go through that process, so you have more confidence to apply for the external grant. So that's why, right, internal grant, right, normally is provide a way for you to secure the external grant. So a lot of the time we said that the internal grant is a sitting fund. Okay, so now a lot of the time when we talk, a lot of those staff, right, they have this mindset saying that internal grant, right, okay, is because it's internal. So they tend to have their member is only within their school itself, okay, or is actually within their department itself. But it's actually will be good that, right, even though we said that this is internal grant, it's actually encouraged, right, you actually have some of those some of those researchers from another university saying that it could be some of your university that are now currently working at the local university. So you actually can have some of them join into your internal grant. So by doing something like this, right, you actually establish a research collaboration work. Okay, it's actually good for your portfolio also. Okay, and also later on, right, because eventually for any internal grant, right, eventually you need to publish, you need to communicate your research output is either to publication or conference presentation. So by then, right, okay, all these research output need to be captured. So that when they look at your research output, if there is a national collaboration or international collaboration, right, it will be a something added. I mean, it will be something a strength point for you. Okay, so for those, right, you want to have when you apply for internal grant, you want to have a research collaboration, right? Because we need to capture on this. So you can always inform PGRC. We can issue the research collaboration letter to the university that you wish to have the collaboration with. Okay, so that's why PGRC is there to provide the support. So again, the opening of those internal grant and also national grant or international grant, right? Most of the time, right, we will actually inform through email, okay, through corporate com. So, and also, right, some of those grant, right, they actually have the opening throughout the whole year. So what are those grant, right? You actually can click on this URL. It's actually in our university website, okay? You go into the research page there, right? You will be able to actually see what are some of those national grant or international grant that actually you can try on. Okay, like I say, right, whatever like document, additional document, right, that if you along the process you want to apply for any grant, they need the supporting document, you can always inform PGRC. Okay, PGRC will try to provide those supporting document for you. Okay, now, the next one is a conference fund support. Okay, like I say, right, eventually, if you do a research, you want to communicate your research output. So it's either through you present at the national or international conference. Okay, so why the university want to send you, all right, want to provide the funding for you to go for a conference. Okay, because this is one of the way you build your network, okay, and then you actually through the network you can have the research collaboration. Okay, so however, right, any of this funding, right, if you want to apply for it, you must make sure that you get the approval before you actually register for any of these conference. Okay, so the sponsorship, right, how much the university can actually sponsor, all right, it depends where is that conference organized. Okay, so for national conference 2008, okay, national conference is 2008. Okay, for those conference that within Asia Pacific region 5,000. Okay, for those outside Asia Pacific, all right, okay, it's 7,500. Okay, so all these, right, you have to make sure that you apply first. Okay, you apply first. Okay, if you go on yourself to actually register in a conference and later on, right, is rejected by the, it's not PGRC who make the decision whether you can go for the conference or not. It's actually by the, there is a process that you have to go through. Okay, later on I'll brief you the process. So when we talk about this amount, right, 5,000, 7,500, 2,800, right, this amount is actually include the registration fee for the conference, the accommodation, and also the travel expenses. Okay, so when you submit for the application, right? For accommodation and travel expenses, right? Okay. For accommodation, let's say if you are attend a conference at KL, we are talking about local conference, right? And you are attending a conference, you plan to attend a conference in KL, then in that case, right, you will not be able to apply for accommodation. Okay, you will not be able to apply accommodation. Okay, but let's say for example, you want for national conference, you want to actually join a conference that is organized at Sarawak. Okay, so in this case, you have to provide the quotation. Okay, for two airfare ticket. So the best is always provide for Mars Airline and Asia, okay? And then for the accommodation, also you provide the ticket, accommodation, right? You go to booking.com or whatever, right? Agoda or whatever, or you can just go to some of those hotel website. You give us two quotation of the hotel, okay? Now, of course, right, when we talk about accommodation and travel expenses, right, especially the accommodation part, okay? Accommodation and meal allowance, because we actually have the HR policy. So the HR policy, right, already have a certain, I think certain policy. Okay, whatever grade that you belong to, right, there are certain entitlement that you only allowed for. Okay, if you still say that I want to go for something that exceed the HR entitlement, yes, you can. But however, right, PGRC will only provide funding up to the what is your entitlement. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is the application process. Okay, this is the application process. For local event, right, you have to apply 2 months before that. For international conference, it's 3 months before that. But I do understand that, right, these days, sometimes some of the conference, right, okay, you only get the notice, right, take for example, 1 month before the conference, okay? So in that case, okay, you can put in your application earlier. Okay, you can put in your application earlier and only wait until the notice, right? You get then only that you furnish PGRC with the notice of the acceptance letter. Okay, so the process will be you need to fill in the conference fund and travel application form. Now you may ask me, what is this form, right? Okay, all this form, right, and including the conference staff conference policy are all available in the SharePoint. So of course you still want to get from me, you can always write me an email asking for this form. Okay, then you need to, like I said, in the conference staff conference policy there will be others document like training nomination form also you need to submit. Okay, this one, the reason why you need to submit the training nomination form is because wherever you go for a conference, we will consider that is a training hours. Okay, so in order for HR to capture on that hour, right, so that's why you need to submit a training nomination form. Okay, so after that, right, okay, please make sure that, right, the form that you pass to PGRC, right, the conference fund and travel application form, the form that you pass to PGRC, right, must be approved by the ADH and also the head of school. Okay, so after we receive all the document, right, okay, what PGRC will do is that we will send your application. Okay, so that's why your abstract, or some of you, right, you submit a complete paper, okay, for a conference application, right? So that one you have to send to PGRC. So we need to circulate to 2 internal reviewer. Okay, now of course, right, the 2 internal reviewer, right, they are not there to actually tell you, right, okay, they are not there to actually to tell you like those article reviewer to tell you that what are the area you need to improve. These 2 internal reviewer, right, basically is looking at looking at the quality of your paper and also looking at the quality of the journal or the conference that you are going, because this day most of the conference, right, after you attend, they will actually provide the opportunity for you to publish. So that's why the internal reviewer task, right, is actually to look at the quality of your paper and also the quality of the conference, quality of the journal. Okay, this is something that that is a task that is assigned to the internal reviewer. Okay, and in a double blind process. So meaning to say that your identity will not be revealed to the reviewer. Okay, so once we get the feedback from the internal reviewer, right, then PGRC will move on to the next step to seek approval from the committee, okay, RAC committee. Okay, the Research, Innovation and Enterprise Committee, RAC committee will PGRC will send out this one for circulation. Okay, so once the approval is given, that only that right, PGRC will inform the applicant. Okay, so now after you attend the conference, okay, you present in the conference, okay, you come back from the conference, you have to make sure that you submit the report within 10 days after you come back, okay, come back from the conference. And then another thing is that, right, PGRC will coordinate a research seminar. So you need to present in that research seminar, okay? Then after that, right, okay, you have to ensure that whatever that you actually present in the conference, right, is either published in a conference proceeding or you opt for a journal to publish, okay? So these are the whole process if you want to seek the funding, okay? You want to use the funding from the university, okay? So this is the whole process. All right. Then the next support the university provide is the article processing charge. Okay, this day we know that, right, journal is really making good business. Okay, they charge high APC for all those publication. Okay, it can be up to few thousand USD or euro. Okay, just like the other day, one of my students came to look for me. The article processing charge is 4,300 USD. Okay, so you can see that how expensive the article processing charge can be. Okay, so but because, right, okay, UOW Australia is actually having the agreement with 14 publisher, they actually allow our staff, right, okay, and even the student, right, to actually publish in the open access journal without incurring APC. Okay, now when I say that without incurring, this one is, I think it will cause some confusion at here. This is the email sent by Australia to me. It's not totally, some of the publisher, right, they are actually given 100%, okay, of web, okay. Some of them, right, is only giving certain amount of discount, okay. So these are all the participating publisher, okay. So let's say, for example, right, let's look at here. So let me share the website. Let me share the website, how it actually look like. Okay, so when you go to this university UOW Australia website, like the library website, they actually put down the agreement. Okay, so these are all the publisher that actually have the agreement with UOW Australia. So some of them, like I say, right, so some of them they're actually given 100%. Okay, some of them they don't. Like for example, right, so for Elsevier, right, it's 15% discount. Okay, and some of them, let's say, for example, for Taylor and Francis, okay, let's look at how many percent. Okay, this one is 100%. Okay, so this one is 100%. Okay, so now there are certain, of course, there are certain requirements imposed there. Okay, you have to make sure that, right, the correspondent author, right, must be using the UOW email address. Okay, the UOW email address. It can be this one. Okay, I understand that some of the staff, right, you actually have the UOW Australia email address, so you can straight away use that one, or even using the UOW Malaysia email address. Okay, so this is some of the requirement. Okay, and make sure that your affiliation, right, your affiliation is University of Wollongong, Malaysia. Okay, and the one from Penang one, you can use the affiliation, the one for Penang. Okay, UOW Malaysia, I think KDU. UC. Okay, just make sure that you write down the application correctly, use the email address properly, okay, and then provide your kit. All right, so that is the requirement. Okay, that is the requirement. Okay, so for further information, right, you can click on this link. So the link that you actually just now actually show. Okay, you can go to the UOW Australia library website. There, from there you actually can click on this agreement. You can take a look. What are those publishers that actually have agreement with UOW Australia? Okay. All right, this one is for patent application. Okay, patent application. Okay, this one is mostly applied to those science project. Okay, because eventually you want to protect your innovation. So you can apply for patent, okay, or trademark, okay. So this is one of the way in order for you to protect on your innovation. So PGRC also provide funding to support on this. Currently, in order to actually apply the whole process, right, from application until finally, right, the patent is being granted, one application, right, the whole charges that is the fee that is involved for the entire application, right, until the patent is being granted is about 12,000 to 15,000. Okay, that is the amount per patent. Okay, so that's why this is one of the way the university help to protect. Okay, the patent ownership, right? The patent ownership, right? It can be definitely the university must be one of them. Okay, the owner belong to the university, or it can have the joint. Okay, it can have the joint owner with the author. Okay. Library resources, I believe everyone know that we actually have the library resources, okay? And if you encounter issue to access to the online library, you can always write to ACiD, okay? And some of you, I do understand that you actually have access to the UOW Australia library, okay? If you want to access to some of those material, right, okay, that is not available in UOW Malaysia library, you can always write to the library. They will actually there to actually to help you to retrieve some of those articles for you. Okay. Then the next one is that staff training and development. Okay. So this one, right, PGRC is not there to provide training. PGRC, right, is there, okay, to assist TLC, okay, to actually to recommend some of those training that is related to research. Okay. And then why every time, right, you can see that the corporate com send out the email asking your provide the information about the training. Okay, the reason being is that, right, okay, for institution, for university, right, okay, for academic institution, for university, okay, it's actually a requirement from the KPT say that, right, all the academic staff per year you must fulfill 40 at least 40 CPD hour, the training hour. Okay, so registration is required in order for HR to capture your training hour correctly. Okay, now sponsorship for your postgraduate study. Okay, so this one, right, okay, normally PGRC will be the one, right? What is the role of PGRC in this case, right? PGRC will actually involve in interview the staff, okay? Because most of the time, in order for you to get that sponsorship, right, the scholarship, there will be an interview process, okay? That is the role of PGRC, okay? So the sponsorship, right, whether you want to get 100% sponsorship, whatever, right, okay, that one is the arrangement between you and also the HR department and your school. Okay. All right. Let's look at the research strategy. Now, why PGRC, right, will need to actually communicate the research strategy is because, right, respective school, right, you actually need to help the university to actually boost the MIRA ranking. Okay, the MIRA ranking is actually an index, okay, to indicate, all right, how well the research, the university is doing on the research area. Okay, so that's why there are actually few dimension, right, under MIRA that every university you need to contribute. Okay, so let's look at for different dimension, what are those strategy that has been proposed in order to in order to move to that direction. Okay, so the first one, right, under MIRA, right, the first dimension is the quality of the researcher. Okay, so in order to boost up on the quality of the researcher, right, okay, so definitely, right, the university will actually encourage the staff to actually embark on their PhD journey. Okay, so the school and then the PGRC will actually provide support and also provide the flexibility. And also KPI will be given for those master qualification to start on their PhD, especially if they are getting the sponsorship from the university. So every semester they need to submit their progress report in order to ensure that there is a consistent progress. Okay, there is a consistent progress. Okay, so another one is that, right, because we do understand that, right, not everyone actually interested, okay, actually interested to embark on their PhD journal. Okay, under MIRA, right? Under MIRA, they actually recognize that if you are the member of the professional body, okay, that qualification, that professional qualification, right, is actually equivalent to the PhD. Like for example, if you are a professional technologist, okay, this qualification is actually awarded by MBOD. So by having a professional technologist, this one is actually equivalent to PhD under the KBT classification. Okay, so let's say for example, another one is you get a chartered accountant. So for chartered accountant, the moment you get that chartered accountant, but please make sure that it's an active membership, active membership. Then this one also is actually equivalent to the PhD qualification. Okay. Now, in order, right, I do understand that sometimes you may have this sort of scenario is that the staff is actually having a bachelor degree, okay, but then having ACCA. Now, unfortunately, in this case, it's not recognized. All the staff, right, okay, all the staff, in order to be recognized under MIRA ranking, right, under MIRA, the minimum qualification that they accept is master holder. So meaning to say that you must have a master holder. So if you have a master holder and an ACCA qualification, then in this case, right, you are actually equivalent to a PhD holder under MIRA definition. Okay. So that's why university will actually provide the financial support for you to apply and also for you to renew the professional membership. Some of the professional membership is lifetime. Some of the professional membership is you need to renew annually. So in this case, right, the university will provide the financial support. Okay. So another one is that, right? Okay, another strategy is that the university will have to form the strategic partnership with those professional body in order to actually for those staff, right? Okay, to get their membership. Okay, so the next one is quality of research. So when we talk about quality of research, everybody, the first thing is that you must publish in Q1 and Q2. Okay, so that's why, right, in that case, right, the university, like I say, right, okay, for those high quality publication, right, the university will support in terms of APC, all right, article publication charge, article processing charge. Okay, the university will provide the funding for this. Okay, and because in order for us to capture all those publications correctly, right, then the affiliation information must be captured correctly. Okay, like for example, University of Wollongong, Malaysia. Okay, and this is the correct way. Okay, because we do understand that some of you still write UOW Malaysia. Okay, now and also, right, in order for you to actually have a quality of research, okay, so it's actually good that, right, in your publication, you actually can demonstrate that there is a collaboration between different institutions, okay, researcher from the local university and also international collaboration. Okay, so that's why in that case, right, it would be good that you actually tap into the resources from UOW Australia or Dubai, different branches, different campuses. Okay, and also in order to encourage, right, to encourage the staff to go for a publication, so we actually next year onwards we will actually introduce the awards program, okay, to recognize the efforts of the researcher. Okay, so and also, right, we will organize because we do understand that for young researcher, right, for young researcher, even like myself, is rather quite impossible that, okay, for your first publication or your second publication, you can go for Q1, Q2. Okay, so that's why in order to go through that process, right, in order to be more resilient to the reviewer comments, right, okay, so the PGRC and also university, right, we actually organize symposium and also conference. There are two symposium are coming. Okay, one is with the team of teaching and learning, another one is from the engineering school. So why we want to organize something like this? Because it's actually provide a platform. Okay, so for those young researchers to experience that process on how to tackle the review from the reviewer. So from there they can improve further. Okay. So the next one is, yes.
Jasmine, sorry, I think some of the participants are not able to see your screen.
Oh,
maybe
really?
You want to just check. Yeah, I mean we can. Some of us can. I think some of them cannot.
Okay, I stop sharing again. Thank you. So now Ken?
I'm okay.
Any one of you cannot see the screen?
Melissa? Melissa still can't. Melissa, maybe you want to exit and join again.
Okay,
So
I'll
also
do that.
say
Okay.
something.
Okay.
So maybe you also want to do the same.
The rest of you are all okay with the screen? Can you all see the screen? Okay, thank you. Okay,
Okay.
all right. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the research grant. Okay. So research grant to university is very important. So like I mentioned earlier, it's actually a income to the university. Okay. Income to the university. Okay. Especially those grant that is awarded by external party like government, okay, NGO, all this. Okay. So in order to make sure that, right, our staff, right, the academic staff, they are actually more ready, okay, to secure the grant, to apply for the grant, right? Okay. So what the university will do is that we will provide more, okay, training or boot camp. Okay. So normally these are training will provide during the year end because FRGS opening, right? This grant opening is normally at the beginning of the year. Okay. So we will actually also, right, PGRC will actually request the head of school to nominate some of the staff for some of those relevant training program. Okay. So that's why at the beginning, right, actually I think a month ago, right, I attended the migrant, the FRGS, the KPT briefing. They actually prefer the grant, right? They actually prefer the grant whereby they can see national collaboration and international collaboration. So it will be good that when you apply for a grant, right, you try to talk to some of those adjunct professor, or you can actually talk to some of the colleague from UOW Australia or Dubai, okay, to put them into your grant. So that is the time, right? Okay, you can have better chances, okay. But of course, your proposal must be strong enough, okay. So one of the way is that, all right, you can actually put the adjunct professor or the colleague from our different campuses to put them into your application, okay. And then we're actually, like I say, right, when you apply some of this grant, right, they will actually require you to provide some of those supporting letter. So in this case, right, PGRC will come in to assist you to provide some of those supporting letter. Okay. So again, right, this day also a lot of the time, like for example, just now I talk about sustainability, right? Not just limit to one view, okay? So that's why this day also, right, the FRGS grant also, they prefer to have multidisciplinary, okay? So meaning to say that, right, when you have your grant application, try to have different people, right? Try to have the member from different background. So this is one of the way you also can increase the chances to secure a grant, okay? Now, another strategy is that, right, we actually want to establish the mentorship program, okay? Even myself also, I think I need to be under somebody else mentor. Okay. So by having this program, right, is actually we expect some of those senior, okay, some of those senior that actually have a good track of publication, okay, in the research activity as well. Okay. They can monitor some of those less experienced academic staff. So this is the way, one of the way they can develop those junior researcher. Okay. And also, right, we actually, like I say, also another way you can have higher chances to secure a grant, right? Okay. This is the information provided by migrant officer. Also, it will be good that you have industrial collaboration. Okay. So let's say, for example, you want to work on a project that is related to robotic, right? Okay, robotic. So it will be good that you actually talk to some of those industrial player. Okay, put them into, you actually write a letter of intent to this sort of company, okay, and put them in, okay, as part of your grant application. Okay, this is one of the way you can actually increase the chance. Okay, now why this thing actually come out, the next dimension, okay, the next dimension under MyRA, okay, the percentage of research project completed on time, okay, a lot of the time, right, okay, MyRA also take into consideration that the project, right, need to be completed on time. But a lot of the time, right, we do understand that a lot of academician, right, okay, when you embark on the research project, right, that journey, right, a lot of the time because you have other work commitments, okay, you are unable to complete on time, okay. But that has become a huge issue for our university. Why? Is because, right, for those some of those local university, they don't really see that impact is because they actually have a lot of research project on hand, okay? So one project they don't complete on time, right, is okay. The percentage is quite a small one for them. But to us, right, we don't have a lot of research project on hand. Hence, right, one project, right, is actually carry a big percentage, okay? So I just want to use one example, right? Last year, we only have 5 research project on hand. And among these 5 research project, right, only 2 project complete on hand. So, complete on time. So meaning to say that we only have 40%. So this is not very presentable, okay, figure to show to KPT, okay. So that's why, right, okay, we will actually the university, right, we will actually put in the SOP to make sure that to monitor, okay, the project progress. So that's why we will need the principal investigator to submit the progress report every 6 months to report on their progress. Okay, and another one is that, right, we will actually develop a warning system for those principal investigator to put into their KPI. And next one is that, right, starting this year onwards, right? Starting this year onwards, okay, all those principal investigator, right, the moment they get the IRGS, right, they will need to go for a training on project management so that they actually can have a better knowledge or skill in handling their own project. Okay, now the next one is about innovation. Okay, innovation. So this one, right, still because, right, like I say, right, at this moment we are still very new on this area, okay? So PGRC is still in the process of finalizing the commercialization policy, but we just want you to know that, right, PGRC, right, will try to standardize all the commercialization and innovation process. So if you want to apply for IP or trademark, all those things, PGRC are there to actually to assist you. We will engage with the agent to start all those process, okay? And also all those MOA, okay? Just to let you know that in Malaysia, right, if you want to capture those research collaboration, right, we need to sign MOA, not MOU. Malaysia, right, Malaysia, KPT, right, they don't recognize any MOU sign. It must be MOA, okay? So for MOA, you must send for stamping, okay? So we will expect, right, the MOA to be signed with the industry to embark on all those innovation project, technology transfer project, okay? So again, right, in order to secure, in order to have better chance to secure on all this, right, okay, it will be good that we tap on some of those resources from different campuses, okay? Now, the next one is about networking and linkages. Okay, so like I say, right, it will be good that, okay, for you to actually, because this day, right, multidisciplinary research, right, is a way that move forward. So it will be good that you actually to identify, right, don't just limit yourself within your field and also within your school. It will be good that you expand some of your networking to other discipline, okay, and we PGRC will try to organize the workshop and conference, right? That's why the coming symposium for SOE, they actually collaborate with UKM. So we want to tap on their expertise, their resources to actually to expand on the research collaboration. Okay. So another one is that we will actually encourage, right, some of this grant that is coming in are more on those social innovation and technology diffusion. Okay, so this one you can work with some of those local community and NGO in order for you to have this knowledge diffusion project. Okay, that's what PGRC will support on. Okay, so that's all for the research strategy. Okay, so we are coming to the end. I think within 1 hour I can finish. Okay. Now, before I go to the conclusion, is there any question? Any question?
No, nothing.
You finish first. After that, I got question.
Okay. I want to conclude already, Sarina.
Never
I know
mind, you
today
conclude
is
first and I ask.
Karina, this
today
is the
is
last
Friday.
slide.
Okay.
Then if you ask question after she finished, then you ask, then we all leave already, no?
Okay. Now it's regarding the you go back to the industry partnership research.
Industry partner.
The
Industry.
I
Which
think it
one?
was after this.
After this, so this one. Is it?
No. If we want to collaborate with the industry, right?
Okay.
To work on the research. I think it was after this. This one, I think. We
Okay.
said that we have to have an MOA with them.
Yes. Unless
Okay.
it's international KPT that actually accept MOU. But local, right, it must, all the research collaboration, right, must be done through MOA. They don't recognize MOU.
You have a sample of that?
Yes, PGRC can provide a sample for MOA.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, no worry on that.
All right.
Okay.
I'll get it from you lah.
Yes. Okay.
Thanks.
I'm hoping more and more MOA come to me.
From Dr. Sotis lah, Dr. Sotis.
Adoy. Actually, I'm not even asking the questions, I'm keeping quiet.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Jasmine.
Okay. Any more question? Okay. If not, I will just release you all earlier. Go to support our colleague for the sport.
Or sit and do work in the office. Either way also can.
Okay. If nothing, okay, then I will just move on to conclude. All right. Okay. All right. So after all, right, then you all can see that, right, research is still very, very important, okay, to our university, okay. So that's why, just to let all of you know that PGRC and the university, we are here to actually to provide the support to all the researcher, okay. Especially for those young researcher like myself, we are actually expecting a lot of support from the university. So that's why, like I said, I look forward to your contribution. I'm waiting for those MOA. I'm waiting for all those application for conference funding and all those APC funding application. The more you're coming in means that, right, our research activity is on the right direction. Okay? All right. So any more question before I end the session? It's Friday.
Dr. Jasmine, actually, I have a paper, 2 papers actually.
Good.
So I think I will meet you face to face for the feedback or what to do next.
Okay, good. I'm very happy to assist. Okay.
Okay.
You know where to find me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Email.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Any more other will come and tell me that you want to submit application in. I'm more than happy. Okay?
Not yet.
Not yet, Okay. All right. Okay, if nothing more, all right, then I will end the session and thank you everyone for your participation. Okay. Okay, have a nice weekend. Okay.
Thanks, Jasmine.
Thank
Okay,
you, Dr.
bye-bye.
Jasmine.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.